Earlier today was the first mixed game. I've done men's and had done some women's, but that was the first mixed.
All right. Well, we're excited, and the poll's underway.
It is. So Metro North will start on offense. Andrew Bosco is back to handle, but right away there's a call. This game, it looked like there was a call. Instead, I think the disc is just going to the brick.
Yeah, confusion there as to whether or not the disc landed in and rolled out or landed out of bounds.
The game is being observed. Metro North going underneath out of a vertical stack to start out. Swings and then a layout bid from Dixon.
That's the way that you want to start a game.
She had a couple very well-timed Ds in the earlier stream. So now Amp right away, but it is tipped and bobbled. Metro North gets another shot on O. Swings around to Middleton. Middleton back to Stern. Over to Bosco. Underneath to Korber. Great swings and continues, and almost looked like there was a foot block, but that stayed up.
Metro North a little stalled here, but
and
otherwise having some nice flow. Looks like there's a call there. There's a foul call on that catch, and no contest. The disc will remain with Metro North.
So disc is on the far sideline. Korber puts up a backhand, looking for Regnell, and that'll put on the first goal of the
game that we play. There's a lot of roster turnover, and people are moving all the time. It's not like we're, many players here certainly do play outside of the club series, but it's not like you're getting traded team to team.
No.
Maybe if you change jobs, you're going to move cities.
Right.
So.
Young professionals move jobs a lot. That's just kind of what happens.
Amp on offense now, isolating Mike Ng deep.
Right. And came out again. Also to note that Metro North is running 4 women. So Amp following in that gender ratio.
So have you gotten clarity? I think the U.S. Open has a, well, I'm not clear on whether or not it's like offense decides or.
From what I've seen, it is offense calls. In the earlier game of Amp and Dragon Thrust, there were only just a handful of points that were for women.
Metro North with the disc here, a nice inside break to the far side of the field.
Now centering it back. Metro North keeping that patience in the red zone and going right up the far side, but that continuation to Aaron Leonard is no good.
Let's go, Red!
Some sort of call. Unclear if it's a foul or a pick. Foul called. Disc will come back, it sounds like. Well, or maybe not. They'll continue to discuss.
And so with players, they are able to go to the observer if they'd like. The observers can also confer together, which looks like what they'll do. It doesn't seem like, though, the foul was on the attempted throw for the score, though.
I think it was off of the disc in the stack, it looks like. So the disc will remain with Bosco.
Bosco swinging off the
Bosco and Stern
sideline.
seeming like they're going to be really important for this game.
Lots of fakes and a second try for Aaron Leonard at that front cone. This time that converts.
Yeah, that's a hold for Metro North, and the two styles of play that we've seen are pretty different even just to begin with. You've seen a lot of short passes in a vertical set here for Metro North. So we see another shot of this replay and the score by Leonard.
The disc to pull for Metro North. Thompson, that pull lands in, rolls around the end zone a little bit. Matt Zumbrum now. Flashing across Shields, and there was some traffic ahead of that disc, so ended up being Deed.
Yeah, that throw
Eugene
from
Yum.
Shields to Mazafari, not able to connect. There's a nice poach that came in the lane, caused Mazafari to drop that disc. Metro North here on offense. Yum with the disc.
Come on, D. Come on, D. Come on, D. Come on, D.
And Metro North really moving quickly, so that pick call stopped a lot of momentum they had coming under. Young still surveying, count getting higher. He dishes off to Canetti, back to Yum. And high release backhand to Brian Foreman.
Looks like some confusion. Yum thought maybe that his teammate was open because of a pick, but Foreman had just created that separation from his defender.
And so you can see Foreman, he takes, the defender turned to look the other direction. Foreman takes advantage of that to get that score.
At home, it's an important time for you to also be able to sort of get an update on where we're at. Big pull from Metro North. Amp on offense here.
Heads down.
So Trissolini back over to Lake.
Right, Jackie, right.
Norma with the disc.
High release backhand. She's a tall receiver though. That is
Looks like it's being called down.
even by his own teammates.
Yes, Trissolini there, that throw just a little low.
So Metro North back in scoring position. Lauren Doyle
Inside.
over to Jackie File.
Nice squeeze mark here from the Amp defender as the stall count rises. Back to Doyle.
And over the top, looks like some miscommunication. And that wind just kind of caught the throw a little bit out the back.
We've got Normal picking up the disc, walking it up the end zone. Metro North will set that zone again. Nice break throw to get it to the break side.
And Amp finding the holes in that zone. Trissolini back over to Normile.
Just be aware on your right shoulder.
Johnson. Back to Trissolini. Hammer over the top, but doesn't quite float long enough. There were two receivers were kind of close, not close enough. Now
Yeah,
Metro North
fast
with
hammer,
another
they
shot.
can't quite connect. Metro North now on offense.
And layout bid attempt. But Metro North instead putting up the huck. And there's Trissolini.
Getting that one back after his turnover. Making sure they retain possession, don't get broken once again.
So that zone back on for Metro North. Amp though finding the holes, kind of baiting that crossfield, but doesn't take it. Instead, Trissolini now swinging around to Normile. Back to Trissolini.
Normal unfazed with, I can't quite tell, number 9 on Metro North, who's, Disabato is a 5'6" player, but his mark looks pretty big to me.
Yeah.
She's not the tallest player out there. It's quite an imposing mark.
So now Metro North in their red zone. Back on offense. Little handler give and go. The far sideline. Swings it to Lauren Doyle.
Back to Murphy. Appears that there is a foul call of sorts here between, or some sort of call between Doyle and Mazafari. Metro North's Murphy will hold on to the disc. It's got Doyle in that reset space, as well as Grinsvag.
So now a little bit of discussion on where the stall count is coming in on 5. And up the line.
Looking for Doyle, but Mazafari is able to get a hand in there. Just poke that disc out of position.
Amp with another opportunity. That cup still there.
Normile over to Ing.
Lake. Back to Trisellini. Amp using a lot of dumps behind to then get the swing off. That's floating. But Normile completes it. Cup sets. Trisellini crashes. Now swings around the cup.
Really nice touch throw there to Normile.
High release. Now swinging across, Ing. Ing thinks he's found an opening, but actually Lucas Murphy is there. Grinsvag swings over to Doyle. Doyle back to Murphy. Little every other layout attempt. Metro North still not in. Raymond with the dish.
Finding Murphy, and that is a break for Metro North.
A break for Metro North and bookends for Murphy.
That's true.
Too.
Yeah, nice point there for Metro North. They really set that zone and got some turns out of it, and then were patient afterwards. You'll see the replay right here. Murphy using his body to shield out Ing,
right.
Or trying new things.
Exactly.
See what might fit.
And certainly something you see more with Diff releasing some more that they're trying to implement on the international level. And then it's neat to see that trickle down then nationally here in the U.S.
Amp on offense.
Zumbrum with the disc. Amp sending, at first looked like they were sending someone deep from the 2 spot, actually ended up breaking around. Now Pellig.
Nice break throw all the way out to space.
Swings to Bobby Roos. Dixon gets it back to Roos. And just like that, Amp has a score. Anna Thompson with that reception.
Nice spacing there from Amp. They never held the disc for more than 2 or 3 seconds. Were able to hit sideline to that inside lane to score. We'll see this once more. Sitting on the inside, faking that forehand around and creating that inside lane for Anna Thompson.
To pull.
Really nice pull, floating.
It looks like there's an offsides call.
And that would have been a perfect pull.
Such a great pull.
Incredible. So much hang time. Literally the very back line of the end zone. Unfortunately, it's going to come back on an offsides. And I'm not sure which team that's on. My guess, it tends to be usually the defense that's offsides. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say it's Amp. But Who knows? See if they can recreate that fantastic pull.
Exactly. So Carter with the disc again to pull, probably trying to remember what are all of the things that I did on that last pull, because I want to exactly recreate it.
Another fantastic pull. This one looks like it's almost going to go out the back. But I spoke just too soon. Another
It
perfect
stays
pull.
in.
It's that Swedish player that we were just talking about.
Rignell now underneath Palmer. Over to Yum. Now Korber on this near sideline. Breaks it to Middleton. Looking at Bosco. Bosco swings across. Korber lays out, keeps possession.
Yeah, nice pass there and a nice grab by Korber.
Korber around. Stern now in the center of the field.
Open side, Carter.
And Allison Yum up the line to Stern. And there's another dish at that front cone.
And just like that, Metro North holds.
They extend their lead to 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty easy hold, but as we see here on the replay, there's bidding defenders left and right. Almost.
So Metro North with a disc to pull. Dave Todayan. Another great pull. Lands closer to the front of the end zone.
But still, nice hang time.
Hostak for Amp. And that huck goes up.
Looking for Mazafari, and that is a perfect throw from, I believe that's Thompson. Anna Thompson, yeah, to Mazafari.
And you love seeing the woman-to-woman connection, especially with a huck, too.
I know, and what I like a lot about this huck is that there's no male defender that's coming out, or female defender coming off the break.
For a break here. And Rignell with the disc to Korber. Korber swinging around Bosco. Bosco to Middleton. Back to Bosco. Bosco to Stern.
Big bid there from Amp. Up to Korber.
Continuing on that break side, but now looking to get it back into the center of the field. Instead puts up what looked like a bit of a bailout throw, but that worked.
Yeah, nice catch there from Stoltz.
Really known for their young athletic talent, lots of speed. They came in 3rd at the Pro Elite Challenge. That was about 3 weeks ago outside of Denver. And their coach said he was actually pleasantly surprised, but said, you know, this tournament really gives them that opportunity
to continue to build, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thompson
It reminds
with the
you of
disc here.
productive habits was the phrase. I liked that. Productive habits.
Amp had an all-female isolated set there. Now they're out of it. Mazafari with a disc.
And now looking to, with that strike up line. Heen and Mozafari with the very, very determined catch there.
Yeah, very nice grab there by Mazafari. Good job by her teammate to put it right in front of her where only she could get it. So nice bid by the defender, but really, you know, Mazafari boxed her out very handily. least. It's a flag, but we always thought it was like a tail. Doesn't quite
Well.
get to the bottom of it for me.
But why?
I know,
If
but
he's
why?
won it for 10 years and it's a bit of a mystery, I doubt he'll tell us today, but we'll put on our journalist hats and try and figure it out.
Deep shot here.
Out of the back of the end zone, deep shot.
Wow.
And Palmer, it was just out of his reach.
Yeah,
I
it's just
thought
a
he
couple,
might get
like,
it.
You know, maybe an inch or two.
Earlier in the day, he probably would have caught it. It's a call downfield. Does not affect the play. Carter swings around.
Nice clear by Dixon there to make that breakthrough possible.
That flick now continuing on the break side. Carter swings. Benelli. There's a stoppage of play.
Nice throw and go move there.
A lot of
Amp.
patience from the AMP offense. And Dix finds Dixon, but there is a pick call.
And she's not in the end zone, so another shot here for Metro North to really clamp down. And a quick inside break to Normile. But there's a reason she's open. It's because there's been a pick.
And someone's that open in the end zone. And another pick.
Yeah, I think that one was a little confusing. I think the defender, Middleton, is saying that she did not actually give her an opportunity to set up where she had, you know.
To be not picked.
Yeah, exactly.
So Dixon says, okay, I'm going to find another target. She has that.
When you've got somebody that's that pumped up. And she's pumped. And she's yelling, let's get another one. And I love that energy and that concept. Metro North on offense.
So much hang time from that pole allows AMP to set up person defense. Korber around to Stern. Stern back to Bosco. Bosco to Stern. Swings. Doyle. Lots of handler movement in the backfield.
Massive bid there from Thompson.
Ragnell swings around. Finds teammate underneath. Now Korber. Stoppage of play.
Korber. Up to Leonard.
And there is a stop, another stoppage. I think vertical stacks just lend themselves to picks in general.
Well, yeah, and I think at the end of the day, like, everything becomes harder, and that discipline to set up your cuts and find that open space becomes harder and harder.
And Metro North finds all of that handler movement working there. Finds Stern.
For the goal, and that's a nice, and that's a needed hold for them. We'll get a chance to see this again. Nice throw. The defender does take that initial line, but the thrower is able to go loop around the defender, and no problem. Yeah. Metro North here on D. We'll get a chance to see AMP's offense.
4 women up top in the cutting position.
Yeah, interesting set to have. Like you said, they have 4 women downfield, but it looks like Metro North is set up in a zone. So I wonder if there will be any adjustments. I assume, yeah, Normile's back to handle. We're not too surprised to see that.
And now working it up that far sideline, Lake. Give and goes. And they just kind of give it and go right up the sideline.
Yeah, Ing with that score there. Nice give and go movement, like you said, on the open side. Metro North not really able to slow them down or challenge them enough to create or to make Amp go to the break side. You'll see here one more time, just a quick dishy there to Ing.
6-1.
Yeah, Ing is a sophomore currently, or just finished a sophomore year at Pitt. So he's a player that I've recognized from that Pittsburgh team that's historically done pretty well at nationals and a fun team to watch. There's a number of actually Pitt players on this team, and two of the women from the women's team that I know of at least is Normile, number 36, as well as Norris, who I believe is number 8, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, she must be a different number. But yeah, both a lot of strong players coming from that college program, and wonderful to see. I'm sure there are others that I'm missing, and I really apologize.
But that's why we're here, getting more footage of them, give them more exposure.
Yeah.
Their friends and family should shout them out in the comments.
Yeah,
so
let me know.
knows
Let me know who I'm missing here.
who they are. So Amp
with a chance to break here.
Now Walsh swings around to Normile, back over to Pelig. Pelig probably about 3 feet outside the goal line. Pick called. And Ing breaks free.
But let
Pick
me
called.
guess, it's a pick.
What do you know?
Yeah, these pick calls are really slowing this game down. It's a bit of a shame from a viewer's perspective, and I'm sure as players it's also equally frustrating. It feels like, you're just about to throw the disc and you feel like you're creating some movement upfield, and then everybody has to come to a stop.
So trying again. Handler give and goes. Pelig, though, still with the disc. High release to Dixon.
And another pick?
I think there was a foul called.
Oh, potentially, yeah. Nice switch there. I believe it's hard to tell. Bosco, I believe, switched with Middleton in order to take away that up the line strike by Normile. Really effective with that switch.
So Pelig remains with the disc. He is marked by Middleton. Just like Sheena mentioned, Bosco taking away that dump space. Bosco, one of the more underrated handlers.
And just like that, finding Dixon in that same space that she'd attacked before. This time, no foul call, no pick. Amp can finally, celebrate that. And that's a break for Amp.
So Amp will tie it with that goal. We're at 7s. So next point takes it to half. How important is that momentum of talking about you look hungry? As a Cowboys fan, I can't help but think of Ezekiel Elliott, feed the beast. She's telling her teammates to feed the beast. So sorry to interrupt you there.
Middleton with a disc. Nice move there. Metro North on offense.
And now continuing underneath, Rignell quickly up line to Tadean. Near sideline, Stern to Bosco. Bosco and Stern just really working together with Korber taking control of the offense.
Bosco.
Great fake now, Stern, but high, and Korber still reads it. Looks about the third go of where he thought it might end up.
Yeah, and he's able to haul that in, and there's that hold that Metro North has been trying to get for the last 2 points. Finally, we'll get a chance to see this once more time. A stutter step, a jump. He thinks he can get it, and
Rignell comes.
those things. from the other team, and so we'll sort of see what that looks like as the game progresses and this second half gets underway.
And neither team really has been able to create a cushion of a lead because there's just so much intensity on both sides of the disc.
Isolation
Trissolini
set.
finds a lot of yardage underneath to Ing. Over to Thompson. Thompson really finds
Mozaffari there.
Mozaffari, and looked like that would be down, but stays alive. Mozaffari swings to Thompson, back to Lake, and around right outside the end zone, not in, to Shields, but
It's like there is a call, unclear here, but Shields will retain possession. And I'm not sure what the call is here.
you would think pick, but I'm not certain. Ooh. We're seeing a thumbs up, so I guess as long as everyone on the field knows what's happening, we're good. Shields still with the disc. Her defender now on.
Nice break throw.
Around and
Looking for
Io.
Thompson, and that's that inside space that's a little behind Thompson. And as the day goes on, right, the end of the day, second half, those throws become harder and harder.
so now Metro North with a chance.
Doyle with the disc.
Let's go defense. Get Shields. Yaraha. How do you think about it?
Lots of movement. Foreman. Stoppage.
Come on, D.
Got Doyle deep downfield in that really deep space. She'll likely be coming under.
Now underneath was Molly McCauley. She swings around to Murphy. Murphy to Yum. Another call.
Nice swim move there from Yum to get open on in that upline space. And unfortunately, that power position sort of negated by that pick call.
So Yum looking for the handler reset to Murphy. Murphy puts that disc up at the air. And
Looking for Foreman, but it's broken up by Ing. Looks like there was a foul call, and that actually turned away right as the play
I
occurred.
saw it, but do not have good perspective because their bodies are closer to us. So I do not have an opinion. Looking at the replay,
How you feel about that, commentators? How you feel about that call?
we will leave it to the observer, but it appears like it will stay no foul.
Yeah.
Now that that's settled, I do agree with the call.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. On the replay, it does look like Ing gets the disc first. There's contact after the disc is D'd. But I think, when you're playing in that moment, sometimes it's hard to tell, did that contact occur before, the disc was out of my reach or, after?
Which is one amazing element of the sport is having that discussion because that gives both people a little bit of time to think, oh, well, actually, maybe that did happen afterwards. I take it back. Or,
Yeah.
no, you're right.
Mozaffari with the disc.
Faking, looking for Ing under. Ing, very convincing huck fake. Instead opts for the hammer over the top to Rosso. Underneath to Lake. Lake with a lefty backhand to
Finding Shields.
Shields to Thompson. Thompson to Ing.
And that's beautiful offense. They're just hitting the inside, then the around, just marching down that break side. And it's just a really nice point there from Amp. I believe that's a hold for Amp.
They'll tie it at 8 apiece.
See that, we get to see that nice throw once again from Thompson to Ing. Ing clearly a big component from a different angle, of course, and the producer and the director and everyone is so fabulous.
A lot of people make it happen, but it's actually a pretty lean crew for the amount that is being provided. Staggering, really. Bosco with the disc. He finds Korber. Korber looking for that huck. That's floating. Ragnell, though, out of reach. I really think that was the wind catching it a little bit.
The wind caught that a little bit, and the throw was a little bit over her head, and she was running directly underneath it, so she couldn't tell if she needed to adjust her angle well enough, and by the time she realized it, it was a little too late. So Amp here with an opportunity to break.
So Bonelli underneath, but Bova just a little too much on it, kind of clapped out of her hands.
He has a fast throw there.
Bosco picking up.
Looking to find a reset. Nothing is open. He has to throw crossfield blade.
And it stays alive.
And looks like... let's see. Who is that? Korber's calling... Looks like Korber's calling a foul.
On Flamberg.
And they're discussing the amount of contact, when it occurred, and who was in that position first. A really nice effort there from Metro North. I believe that's Allison Yum. Just to track that play and just attempt to make something out of nothing. Pretty impressive.
It really is. Especially as close to the sideline.
Yeah, and she tried to keep that disc in bounds. She was laying out, and I think in the process of it, I think it sort of...
So the call goes to the observer, and foul called. So Korber will take the disc at the front of the end zone.
So as soon as he taps the disc here, everyone will be able to move, and he'll return to the front of the end zone line. So Korber with the disc.
With Sarah, with. Sarah ready, yes, Carolyn, not looking.
Looking to dump.
Yeah, Red, work, Red, work.
High release backhand. That's good. Aaron Leonard's there for the score.
Yeah, nice work there by Metro North. I think, yeah, you know, that throw that went up, Amp has to be proud of that team pressure D that created that big forehand loopy huck thing to the far side.
Close to each other. I couldn't imagine them not being in the same region, at least.
You know, Amp from Philadelphia and Metro North, of course, from New York.
So Amp, since 2006, they've qualified for the Club Nationals 11 times and competed at the 2010 World Championships in Prague.
Very impressive.
Metro North, a newer team comprised of a lot of open and women's players that came to form, but certainly a lot of experience on their side as well.
Amp's offense here looking very smooth. Disc is moving quickly between players. Thompson.
Great
Beautiful
break around.
backhand. Holy cannoli.
And continues with the breaks.
Yeah, we have Zumbrum hitting Mazafari there on that far cone for a really nice hold. I think there was only one moment when Shields held the disc for probably 5 or 6 seconds. But then the disc was able to move quickly, and Thompson with that really nice low release backhand. Showdown beat traffic. Incredible. Wow. Yeah, so this is why USA Ultimate is providing this coverage, because there's so much incredible Ultimate happening and no one capturing these stories, no one capturing these games. So it's pretty incredible to just be part of it. I feel very, very special, very humbled to be here.
Certainly incredibly humbled. These teams fighting so hard on the field as well. And kind of a bailout huck goes up. Dixon's there. Great closing speed on Dixon's part.
Yeah, and it looks like that was a high stall bailout throw. And the discussion on the field is whether or not it was a stall at at that point, or if it's just a turn and it's, Metro North got that disc off before the stall 10. It looks like it will just remain a turnover with Dixon. She'll keep the disc. She caught that throw, so she'll still have possession of the disc.
And Dixon now finding Ing. Ing break inside to Walsh. High pass over the head of the intended receiver, Middleton, with the disc instead.
Middleton, a lefty, allowing her to throw that throw to Yum, but unfortunately that one's incomplete, coming in pretty hot. Ing is picking up the disc.
Another opportunity for AMP. Robinson to Walsh. Up the line.
To the speedy Normile. That's a fun matchup. Normile and Middleton.
Another backhand break. Ing
in traffic.
Sandwiched.
I don't know how he was able to catch that, but it looks like, of course, there's a pick. And yeah, this Normile Middleton matchup is really fun to watch. Middleton's so
and we've got
dynamic.
bookends for Dixon.
And that's a break for AMP. They go up 10-9 against Metro North.
Big point.
Yeah, lots of quick movement there from AMP. Bouncing the disc from sideline to sideline as we see that catch from Dixon there at Nationals in pool play last year. So there's some info of
there you
where
go.
they might have seen each other recently at Nationals.
So happy there's so much knowledge. I love that social media is able to bring that because we're in such a vacuum here otherwise. Only so much research that we're able to bring into the game prior.
Metro North here on offense. Nice catch.
Very acrobatic.
McClelly.
Today in with the disc.
Looking for Murphy. Goes on the inside to Yum.
Now Foreman back to Yum. Quick dish over to Doyle. Up the line, that was behind, but Murphy still able to catch it. Today in, tail and all. That is threading the needle. When they say thread the needle, exhibit A.
Yeah, nice catch there from Foreman. A very small window to receive the disc in. We'll get a chance to see this once more. Today in with the disc, and then finds this cheeky little forehand as a lefty. He's able to release that. Rockets from USA Ultimate that have, all 126 teams roster information, because of course Youth Club Championships is starting tomorrow at the same complex, and it's been wonderful today. There have been so many YCC teams walking around watching some of the phenomenal Ultimate this year, and that'll only continue to happen tomorrow.
So AMP working it up underneath, gaining yards.
Mazafari to Normile. Back to Mazafari.
And Mazafari putting that big throw up. It's deflected, but it stays active. And that's a score for AMP.
Nice space that she found there, and a nice setup of a cut, sort of an S cut there to open up that break side space. Or excuse me, I guess it was a forehand. It was a forced forehand, so it's the big side. But nice edge to it.
It had a great edge to it.
As well, has really had a couple of really nice grabs. In addition to, I believe, Nelson. No. Well, I'm getting the names confused, but.
So, big pull lands in.
Lands in bounds, but rolls out, so it'll come to the front of the end zone. Bosco picking up the disc. horizontal set here from Metro North, which we haven't really seen much of.
And Korber coming under, had a little bit of pressure, but I think that's a pass that he would typically catch. But late in the day, now Amp
Chance to
on
break.
the goal line. A stoppage. I wonder how many times I've said stoppage today.
Stephen Ning with the disc now. Nice inside to Dixon.
Dixon reading perfectly. She's looking for the dump. And that is force side. Amp with the score.
Benelli finding separation. He's setting up that cut really far away. We'll get a chance to see these passes once again. Dixon, she's going to dump it back to Stephen Ning. Nice find there. And then Benelli creating that separation, beating his defender to that line.
So Metro North going.
Yeah, clear delineation of, you know, where the space is, where we're attacking, and where we're clearing. And
So it looks like Metro North has 3 handlers back, but a split stack. If I'm reading the field correctly.
yeah, and a nice pull there from Amp, but another pull that lands in bounds and rolls out. Good job by Middleton to not, you know, try to. Oh, excuse me, it landed out of bounds. Good job by Middleton to not doubt herself and decide to catch it.
So now Metro North from the brick mark. Bosco to Stern. Around to Middleton. Middleton back over to Stern. Layout attempt, but
Pick
there
call.
was a pick call.
Interestingly enough, I think that the disc should actually end up staying with Aaron Leonard, but
I appreciate the ISO stack.
maybe not. Maybe it was far before the play.
So Stern now dishes to Middleton.
Stack is very deep now. They haven't adjusted to the dump set.
Dixon with the layout attempt, but Ragnell with a great read. However, Metro North not gaining too many yards. Now Allison Yum with the disc. Back to Ragnell. Over to Bosco.
Yeah, a lot of passes here for Metro North. Not many yardage gains. Now we're seeing some forward momentum as Bosco gets that disc up the line.
And straight up the line, it is tipped, but it is caught. And observer says, yes, that is in.
Great grab by Adam Stern. That disc is tipped, I think, by the defender, but it's no problem. We'll get a chance to see this one again. Really nice throw, and maybe not tipped.
Oh, it
but
was just outside, so there wasn't a defensive tip our way.
at QXHNZ.
And at Emmy Fitz.
If you wanted to give me a follow, that would be pretty sweet. I'm almost at 1,000 followers.
Gotta get you there.
Yeah, I'm in competition with my sister, so
Oh.
if you're into sibling rivalry, give me a little like. You know, it's hard being the little sis sometimes.
Exactly. I'm the oldest, but I can understand from my sister's point of view.
Mazafari with a great grab as Amp here is on offense.
Now Pelig with that flick. And that is all the way in
Connecting
for
with Heen.
Heen.
What a nice throw. Same third huck, but has a really nice edge on it. And Heen is able to keep his eye on the disc the entire time, able to track it down. Get a chance to see this one again. Nice flick here. Does a nice shimmy fake, getting around the mark.
Great
And
cut.
Heen, yeah, able to keep his eyes on it. You know, he never has to worry about. Needs to hold, needs to get their defense back out on the field. It's starting to get a little blustery. So a lot of focus on this offensive line. Doyle with the disc.
Metro North working it on that far sideline. Finds underneath to Bosco. Bosco, lots of touch to Yum. Yum
With a
puts
flick
up
huck
the flick huck. And there's Lauren Doyle.
on the other end of it. And that is quite visionary. I did not see that spacing, but she saw it and she executed that throw really nicely. That throw was above Doyle's defender. We'll get a chance to see this one more time.
And that's a throw that the wind has died down. That would not have been able to complete on hand. I did get additional tidbits from Chris Mazer about our tail friend, Dave Tadayan, out on defense. He actually plays in the Masters division.
Right hand, Luke, right hand, Luke, right hand.
And they placed third and qualified for Worlds when he caught the winning goal.
Oh.
So championship mentality there. Meanwhile, Amp
No hug, no hug.
puts up the big huck, backhand huck,
Trissolini looking for Ing.
and Ing hoping on the second attempt, not there.
Nice D there from Tadayan. Able to just get a hand on that. Knock it out of the way. That's exactly what Metro North needed. Now they have a shot here at a break. We have Yum picking up the disc, walking it up to the front end zone line.
A little bit of miscommunication for the cutters on Metro North. You had two cutting under at the same time. That created a what else but a pick.
Disc is reset though. Murphy has it in the middle of the field. Metro North players are all pretty deep. And Thompson with a near layout block on that throw. Able to maintain possession though.
And the throw goes up out of power position. Tadayan is the intended receiver, but Ing is there. So no good.
Yeah, that throw had a lot of zip on it, a lot of angle, and it angled a little too far out of Tadayan's reach. Pretty much a gift for Amp here. They'll have another shot at holding for this point.
So Trissolini will walk it up for Amp. Immediately have a deep look. Kind of running out of using that full field. And
Miscommunication
intercepted.
there.
Metro North with another chance to tie. Regnell back over to Murphy. Stack a little bit too deep. Adjustments. Layout interception from Ing.
That was incredible. I think Ing is certainly not the tallest player, but when he's full extension layout, getting a catch block, you realize just how big of a human being he is.
Timed so well.
Wow, can't wait to watch that one on replay, and just like we got a chance to see. But back to the live action. Amp with a disc. Shields. Nice break backhand. Now with Mazafari.
Ing right on the goal line, swinging around.
Trissolini with a disc now.
And Ing with the bookends in his own right.
Wow, what a point for Mike Ing. And, you know, this is not his first bookends of the game. We talked earlier, he had an incredible D in one end zone and then ran the full 70 yards and got the goal in the other. So very fun to watch here, and we're really getting down to the wire. 14-12, Amp leading.
So Metro North pulling Pelig to pull to Metro North. Pretty much right exactly, and almost a layout block from Amp. Stays alive, another layout attempt. Korber with the reception. He swings over to Bosco. Bosco's looking for Stern.
Nice mark
Instead,
there.
puts that up in the air. There's Korber. Korber with the grab.
Over the Amp defender, and that's really nice. I think really good job on the Amp defense there. He was squeezing on the mark. We're getting a chance to watch this again, forcing the high stall count throw. Korber, of course, putting a lot of power and a lot of zip on that throw, and he's able to curve it so that it goes above.
Very exciting, no doubt. A lot of the Dragon Thrust players on the sideline.
Yeah, they just played in the other streamed game, and now they're here watching some of the best players in the nation compete on the field.
So Trissolini, Huck right away, and that is dropped.
Looking for Rosso and unable to connect there. It's hard to tell from my angle what exactly happened, but a really nice throw from Trissolini.
So Metro North now looking for options, not a lot, ends up dumping into their own end zone. Dishes out for Doyle. Doyle over to Dayan.
A lot of contact there from that Amped player.
Swing around. Metro North moving it all the way to the other side of the field, now centering. Up the middle, Dayan gaining yards. Yum with that baseball and falls to the ground.
You know, it looks to me like he slipped. I don't think there was really any contact. I've been playing out on these fields today, and I can tell you there's some pretty intense dirt patches out there that if you get caught in one of them, you go down fast. That happened to me today, and I've seen it happen to a lot of people. So that could be what happened right there. As there's another stoppage of play here. Raymond with the disc for Metro North on the doorstep. Could be bringing this to a tied game, but looks like the disc will be coming back to Dayan.
So Metro North with 3 back, approaching their red zone if they are not already in their red zone offensive set. Dayan, big fakes, swings around to Yum. Yum over to Doyle. Doyle finds her teammate McCauley in the end zone.
And that's a break to bring it to 14s. Wasn't it just a couple minutes ago that we were talking about, 14-12, you know?
No,
but Metro
lead is
North
safe.
bringing it in to within 1. We're getting confirmation here on exactly what we're playing to.
But very exciting nonetheless. That's a Blady pull to give Metro North more time to get down on defense. Peleg ends up finding his teammate upfield. Normile back to Peleg.
Back to Normile.
Now Ing.
Incredible grab. Able to elevate and keep that possession. Stepping through that mark.
And Peleg keeping it active. He throws and goes, creating that separation to get the disc back. IO flick. And out of the reach. That was Zumbrum to Dixon.
Yeah, that's a tough throw. That sort of inside out back into a fading cutter. That's a really tough throw to connect on, but really nice inside break there from Ing to Zumbrum to create that possibility. Metro North on offense. Doyle in the middle of the field to Murphy.
Murphy swings around. Foreman, a lot of coverage. Back to Murphy. From our angle, it did not look like it would complete, but it did. There's Ing.
Ing with just a run-through block there on an undercut, just proving that at 14-14, he's out here to play, and he is not tired.
Oh, youth, 20-year-old Ing for his 3rd bookends of the game.
And looks like the observer's calling that in, but players on the field seem to be unsure of the call. But of course, observers, that is an active call made by the observers, and so that's an inbounds. That's clearly inbounds, no discussion. That's a goal.
So remember, it is win by
Contributions from everybody, and also, and just because, let me try to explain myself. I'm enjoying the high level of skill all around, and how those two things are not mutually exclusive. Like, that is what's making this game really special.
certainly incredible show today in with the disc. Swings over.
Yes, Rob. Position.
Working a lot underneath
Yes, Rob.
in a vert stack, but trying to keep that force lane open. That huck goes up. It's floating.
Oh!
And
Wow, looking for Palmer, and it looks like
Palmer calling a foul.
and Robinson getting that block. We'll get a chance to see this again. We have Bosco putting up this big huck, looking for Palmer. Maybe we'll get a better chance at it right here. I think that's a
You can see that Palmer does the clap catch, but what you can't see is where the disc is really when that clap catch happens. It seems like the deflection was before the clap catch, but
yeah, I think that to me, as somebody that, I've had a recent knee injury, that looked pretty spooky on that replay. Bidding into his knees. Seems.
and
I would
that's
probably
the
still be on the
other
ground.
part. Right.
Taken out.
And that's the other element of Spirit. One of the several elements of Spirit of the Game is actively trying to avoid contact as much as possible.
And I actually think that the defender Robinson did try to not engage that contact. He tried to bid sort of in front of the defender and in front of Palmer and not into him. But I think on the follow through, that's where the problem occurred. Disc is going back. Looks like neither of the players is going to the observer. Which is pretty interesting. So Bosco will keep the disc. And unclear here what the disc is coming in on, what the stall count is.
Let's go, Red.
So disc is tapped in. Now it's live.
Looking for Middleton. Nice fake there to move the mark. Up to Palmer. Tripping in that that dust pile that I was talking about before.
There actually is a
Hazard
hazard cone, several hazard cones on this field.
Yeah. Bosco. To Middleton. It's funny, we're both getting really quiet. I think it's that sort of the tension
Right.
is palpable, and we're both literally on the edges of our seat, just trying to take it all in and watch everything that's happening. Everyone is moving so quickly down the field and adjusting their cuts and reading what the defense is giving them and reading what the thrower is communicating with their fakes. It's near block there, but Metro
Stern.
North back to Stern, looking for today in. And I don't think the defender actually touched it, but I believe that Stephen Ning's presence with that bid made today and dropped that disc.
I think it did because there was a big flash right in front of him, and he was so close. I think he was trying to toe it in.
Mm-hmm.
Too many things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Now it's Amp disc. If Amp scores here, the game is over. If Metro North scores here, we're in a double game point scenario.
Walsh with the disc, and it looks like there's a tie. Looks like 3 players isolated in space, and a violation called.
The disc is in, Amp in a host stack, and almost looked like that was going to be blocked. But Benelli catches it, but is hopping off the field.
Yeah, he just seemed to have moved his left arm, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's perhaps a nagging injury or something that's been giving him trouble before. But play resumes.
Big Huck goes up. Women on women, and no good.
Well, really close there. Looking for Bova.
I love it personally.
We'll get a chance to see this once again.
Also, this observer, I guess
We've
it's
got
not
Peleg
crazy,
ripping that forehand to Bova. This is a better angle than what we had before.
Yeah, she's
Bova trying to go up, and hard to tell if her feet get tangled before she's able to make a play. Who knows?
They go to the observer. It's ruled no foul. So they will tap the disc, and it will go back live. Metro North picking up. Adam Stern walking it to the line.
Wow, this has been a really long point. We've had one timeout already.
You're right.
To Dayan, up to Palmer. Looking for Bosco. Throws through the contact to find Stern. And Stern looking
Straight up the line. That's caught by Bosco. Now there is a stoppage of play. It almost seemed like Bosco was going to call a timeout.
That's what I thought as well. And then I was not.
Another
sure.
horn.
Yeah, so I believe that is timeout called.
Is so energizing to an Ultimate community.
As we
And Palmer with the reception, and
that's a goal,
that's
folks.
a goal.
And now we are truly in double game point territory. I think there was a little bit of confusion there as the Amp player was still on the ground. We'll get a chance to see this one again. Bosco finding Palmer. Good job by that defender just to...
So that pull very, very high and around.
Outside in, and there's like a little bit of sun now, which adds this level of difficulty for catching. Certainly was not present before. Normile looking for Ing in that space, and now finds him. Normile busting up line.
And disc is on the far sideline. Normile looking for a receiver. She finds one. And now Amp on the goal line. Can they keep their patience? A give and go.
Trisellini had so many open players and just didn't throw it. Back to Trisellini.
Trisellini and Lake out. And that is an inside flick break throw.
You know, but who else too? None other than
Mike Ing.
Mike Ing.
What a game
What a
from
game.
Mike Ing.
And Amp really comes away with that one, probably feeling stronger and confident in what they're bringing to the table. But, you know, having faced a little bit of adversity and some challenges throughout this entire process. Who to you would you say MVP for both teams?
I would give Mike Ing the MVP for Amp with 3 bookends in such crucial moments as well. And I think being able to keep such high energy. Although Alicia Dixon, I should say, she had a great game as well and really helped set that tone.
Yeah, you know, blocks, assists, and goals. She had it all. Right.
Incredible. Plus being able to maintain that presence for her team. That's intangible. It's not statistics, but certainly helps contribute.
And then Metro North, what do you think?
Metro North, I think Bosco had a really great game.
Yeah, Bosco did a good job sort of distributing that disc and then putting the disc where his players could get to it at high stall count situation. What about a female player?
Exactly. I think on the female side, Liz Middleton was very much a calming force, but I've got to hand it to John Korber saying Elsa Regnell, she was so constant cutting
game,
underneath.
Yeah.
So clutch.
I feel like we were constantly saying her name, and she was that isolated cutter in their set, and found had a nose for the end zone for sure.
Exactly. Would you name anybody else as those players of the game?
I would have to give a shout out to Lauren Boyle. I thought she moved the disc really well, attacking up line, attacking around, enabling Metro North to stay in this game in a lot of ways that are not going to show up on the stat sheet. But
Exactly.
Very impressive game.
So amazing for Ultimate. Well, that was a heck of a game. AMP takes it by 1. They will remain unbeaten for Friday in their pool play over Metro North, 16-15. And that is it for us for now. Stay tuned tomorrow for additional coverage. I'm Emmy Fitzgerald for Sheena Titcomb. Thanks for watching. See you later.
Bye, everyone.